A very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the Thursday edition of the show. I'm Yemi Adebayo. On the menu tonight, there's handball, there's cricket, there's chess, and of course, there is football. Also, there will be basketball. A lot to talk about even as we go on the show tonight. We'll also talk about what's making the rounds, the short list for the FIFA Best Awards, the male and female categories. We'll talk about that as we go on the show. We'll also talk about the aftermath of of course, the game that was played midweek, talking about England and Scotland, the abuses, the criticisms coming the way of Harry Maguire. We'll talk about all of that as we go on. It's a two-man show. My colleague Osno Konakpan will join in shortly. But first, let me introduce our partner. Let me introduce our partner in the Lagos studio. Okay, I guess Austin is ready. Let's just do it the way we do it. Greetings to you, Austin. Feels good to take this ride with you on a Thursday evening.
What a greetings to you, Yemi, and special shout out to everyone joining us on the show tonight. Tech trying to, steal the shine, but I'm glad that I'm live on the program. Good to be here once again. So much going on in our world of sports. I'm looking through the lineup. I see basketball, I see handball, I see cricket, there's also football. Beautiful story coming out from Victor Osimhen after being nominated for the FIFA Best Awards. It's an action-packed world of sports, and we're ready to rock and roll tonight, Yemi.
Yeah, definitely it is. All right, I got excited earlier, got ahead of myself, wanted to introduce our partner in the Lagos studio. Let me just go straight and do that, maybe because he's here with me live in the studio. Bolu Amoni joins us now. Bolu, greetings to you. Every time it's Thursday, I don't know what I'm going to get, but you're here with me today, so greetings to you. It's good to do this with you again.
Yeah, good evening, good to be again. Well, Austin, I'm still seeing you in here. And I knew it was about Kenya. You're not seeing me virtually. But like Austin rightly said, it's a fully packed show today. Too many things to pick on. If you have plans to stand up today, my friendly sports advice for you is to sit down on that couch. You definitely have fun today.
All right, definitely you will have fun. So where do we start? Let's start with basketball and talk about the fact that the D Tigers have moved up 7 places to 11th spot in the global ranking of basketball playing nations by FIBA. Let's show you what it looks like now. We're still the best in Africa, no doubt, but on the global rankings, we're the 11th basketball playing nation. So let me just go across and show it to you. Bolu will look at this. This is Africa's top 10. Let's start with Africa's top 10, and there you have it on your screen. Nigeria, number 1, 11th in the world, followed by Mali, of course, second, 16th in the world. Senegal, 3rd, 20th in the world. Mozambique, followed by Egypt, that makes up the top 5. Then you have Cameroon, Angola, Cote d'Ivoire, Uganda, and Kenya in that order. All right, that's Africa's top 10. Let's quickly see the global rankings so that we can move as quickly as we can. For the global ranking, the United States, no arguments about that. Best basketball, women's basketball playing nations as far as FIBA is concerned, followed by China, Australia, Spain, and Canada. Then follows immediately after with Belgium, France, Brazil, Japan, and Serbia in that order. That's the world's top 10. All right, charity, they say, begins at home. Let's start from home. Bolu, how does this hit you? It doesn't. Some will say it doesn't hit differently. We've dominated women's basketball on the continent for quite some time, so shouldn't come as a surprise if our status is still regarded as the best.
Well, the last time the Tigers lost on the African scene, the kids they gave birth to them are definitely in primary school by now. So it's been a huge dominance. It now made me feel poorer or worse, that if only we had qualified for the FIBA Women's World Cup, or we were allowed to go. We're now talking about the Tigers. Probably they could have hit the top 10 this time around, but it's a learning curve. I'm excited they moved that far. They are just this close to hitting it. So maybe the Olympic Games could be the next turning point, or even
from your team at their peak. And where I'm going is, you shouldn't be having administrative issues. So these girls, everything is looking right. I'm hoping the team at its peak will be able to get the best, and probably the things of the past that were a bit nightmarish, we're not going to be having them again.
I totally agree with you, Yemi, and I also agree with some of the things that Bolu talked about. But unfortunately, administrative issues seem to be the biggest obstacle of this D Tigress team. Just imagine if everything was okay administratively, probably this team would have broken even out of the top 10. I'm maybe talking about the top 5. If everything, if you want to judge them by the dominance that they've shown in Africa and the quality that we saw in this team before the start of the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, then it tells you that it is just our administrators that are stopping these girls from, achieving their milestones. Fantastic achievements, moving 7 places to 11th in the world, still number 1 in Africa, won the Afro Basket Championship 4 times in a row. Let me repeat it again. The D Tigress are African champions 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4 times in a row. And they keep beating a team as good as Senegal. You need to go and see how much attention Senegal is giving to basketball, not just to their women, also to their men. But each time the D Tigress meet them, we let them know that Nigeria is so blessed with talent, abundance of talent. Like, it's just administration that is the issue. So, I totally agree with you that it's difficult with longevity when leadership is poor. Look, if not for what is happening with the Spanish football team, go and look at the growth. Go and look at the sequence that this Spanish team they've achieved, right from the FIFA Under-17 World Cup till now that they've gone on to win the FIFA Women's Senior World Cup. That's progress. That's what we're talking about, building. And to think about it, that the last championship in Rwanda, Nigeria went with almost, arguably, a new team. About 70% of the players were new to that team. And we still dominated Africa. Tells you that we've got everything going for ourselves except for the selfish, unprofessional leadership that is, bringing these girls down. And it showed with the D Tigers. You see what I'm saying? Immediately. I've been giving you a sequential, bit by bit story of how you shouldn't expect anything from basketball in Nigeria. But it's only the D Tigers that will say, Austin, wait a minute. Nothing can touch our talent, particularly in Africa. So congratulations to the girls. Number 1 in Africa, 11th in the world. I keep telling them whenever I talk to some of the members of the team, stay focused. Do it for your career. Do it for your family. And do it for the love of the country, And then who knows, maybe someday when we choose to get it right, these girls will go all the way. Let's talk more about the women, but this time around, let's go into handball. I love tonight's show, from basketball to handball. Nigeria's under-18 women's handball team, they're confident. Why are they confident? They're confident that they will make the country proud at the 19th edition of the Africa Youth Championship that will take place in Monastir in Tunisia from September the 17th to the 23rd. And that's the team right there during their training camp at Roe Park in Lagos. The head coach, Shitu Agbola, and team goalkeeper, Precious Samuel, are targeting the trophy and the ticket to the World Championships next year. So if you go to this championship, you do well, it serves as qualifiers for the World Championships. 15 players have been selected to represent Nigeria at the Under-18 Women's Handball Championship that will take place in Monastir, Tunisia. Let's listen to some talking points coming out of this one, and then Bola Money will tell us 1 or 2 things he knows about this women's handball team going to Monastir.
Nigeria is rated one of the lowest in that tournament, but I can assure you we are going to come with something spectacular. Our chances are bright, but I would like to also be prudent. This tournament is also a qualifier for a world championship. So our first target is ensuring that we get that World Cup ticket, and it's 4 that will be picking the ticket. But I also want to tell you that as much as we respect names of all these big teams, we are also not scared of them. If you watch out the antecedent of this remark points, those that are able to follow them from about 5 years ago. They started from under 12. The government of Sokoto State ensure that they actually put these girls together. They are the crop of young girls that we have in Nigeria. You can see it from, in fact, there are about 14 girls that we invited to the camp, and it is pruned down to 8 of them. So they're actually the best girls we can actually see around.
We have been told a lot. We have not played them before, but we have been told a lot that they are good. But by God's grace, our coach has trained us to be better. And by God's grace, we pray to put forth all we have been taught here and more when we get there.
That's right. Coach saying, look, these girls aren't just young, they are talented. And you listen to one of the players saying, look, we've been through the right process and we'll go make Nigeria proud. Bolu, the coach told us that this team is lowly ranked. And I know that we've been trying to do so much with developing handball, particularly with the coming of the league that has been sustained. Are you confident that it can give Nigeria a good representation at the championships in Tunisia?
Well, everyone likes the Cinderella story, and I wish the Cinderella story can happen. Like the coach rightly said, the lowly ranked, yeah, but even at this stage of the tournament, it's not that we've had teams that have dominated. This is the 19th edition, and the team that has won the most stages have just 4. So it means we can just catch up with them. But like we always say, you need to get everything right, starting with the administration. We remember the time they were having their factional drama is one of the things that drew us back in terms of a handball. Now they've started, one of the best news from handball is there's a league. No matter how much you try to gather, if there's no working league, we'll keep recycling the same thing over time. And if you listen to one of the what the coach said, he spoke about having to train some of them come up from the under 12. It's one of the things we say. I don't just want to hear, oh, I am now the chairman, I work on grass. Don't tell me we want to work on grass. Tell us, let us see these things. And the coach rightly said they picked some of them from the underage team. And if you notice, some of them have been playing together for a while, which is also good for them. It can work for team spirit, it can work for team bonding. But again, they are facing better opposition. They are facing people that have been here before. Let's see how far they can go. But the fact that they qualify for this tournament is a win for me. So hopefully they'll go further than we expect them to do. And after the tournament, we continue from there. Not, oh, the tournament is over, see you in 2 years.
Yeah, I totally agree. Because when you're dealing with the age grades, teams, it's long-term planning. You don't just go for competition and then you come back and then you abandon the team. So best wishes to the Nigeria Women's Under-18 handball team. Shout out to the Federation. Bolu, you wanted to mention the stability that we're seeing in that team. And that was the coming of Samuel Ocheo, and his team. Because I remember back in the day, we can't even mention handball on a sports show in Nigeria. So, these are good times. And I see that from handball going into cricket, we're still also talking about development.
Yeah, it's impressive. I just want to piggyback to what Bolu said. The sports minister, I think he quite rightly hinted about this when he was having a stakeholders meeting. You need to always have a bedrock for development. And Bolu talked about the league. No matter what you do with the national teams, it's just like jumping up and coming down. Even if you don't do well in a tournament, if you still have your league, you come back. Whatever development plans you have, you can carry it out with your league. And I'm hoping that all the federations we're talking about will have something to, well, it's not the case with basketball. We've talked about that. I don't want to go back to basketball. But thank God we talk about a federation that's doing something. And you rightly also said it was very difficult a few years ago to try to squeeze handball news into a sports show, but now we can conveniently give them 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Talk about the championships, male, female, and all that. So it's good. So we're switching gears now. Let's talk cricket and talk about the yellow greens, and that's the name the senior men's national cricket team is being called, and they are eyeing a debut at the Cricket World Cup. They are eyeing getting a slot right there, and of course they put themselves in a position to be able to qualify, to get a chance to qualify for West Indies 2024, the T20 championship, and that's what they're doing. And the coach of the team, Steve Tikolo, is confident that the Yellow Greens can qualify for the 2024 T20 World Cup to be held in West Indies. And He's talking about the team. He wants the team to play high-profile matches to make them fully ready for the second phase of the African qualifiers in Namibia that will take place from November 20th to December 1st. Of course, you already know that the Yellow Greens have been training at the Tafawa Balewa Cricket Oval in Lagos. Let's take some reactions. We come back, and of course, Bolu will shed some light on some of the things happening in cricket.
Playing at the World Cup is the pinnacle of any cricketer, any aspiring cricketer would love to be part of the World Cup. It's a great feeling to be part of the World Cup and compete against the best. And for me, since I arrived in the country, my goal has been to take the Nigerian team to the World Cup, be it the 50 overs or T20 World Cup. So it is work in progress. Those are the goals we've set ourselves as long-term goals, and as I said, it is work in progress. I believe, having worked with them for the last 9 to 10 months, I've seen a lot of talent in Nigeria. It's just about now mentoring them and taking them in the right direction. In terms of doing the right things for them to get to that level where they can compete at the international level. In life, such happens. And for us, it's just to pick up the pieces and move on, continue with our day-to-day activities as a team, and prepare ourselves for the next tournament that comes in November, which is the World Cup qualifier, T20 World Cup qualifier.
All right. Of course, Steve Tikolo talking about the chances of Nigeria. I'm not a doubting Thomas, but I told you off camera, if we pull it off, I'll really be surprised.
It's definitely going to be tough. I remember when Tikolo was brought on board and they were like, well, based on his profile, like his antecedents, he's meant to do great things for the team. And he rightly said that I think everyone knows that talent is not a problem. Bring in a sport, create a sport today. Give us 1 month, we'll be good at that sport. So he rightly said there are talents everywhere. So hopefully this works out. And they struggled a bit, not even struggle, actually they had a good Group A, or you can call it the first round in the Group B tournament. They finished second, but this regional finals is definitely going to be tough because they need to finish in the top 2 to make it there. It still shows growth again. We've been doing cricket for a while, pushing hard, but this time now we are looking at the World Cup. We are looking at making it to the World Cup, not African tournament, not anything regional. It still means there's still growth again. Hopefully this growth can be enough for them. In the group stage, the Group A, they won 6 of their 7 games, lost 1. So this time around, can they still pull it off? Yeah, they have a majority of the guys that played in the first round in this tournament. I agree 100%, which is going to be very, very tough. And again, I love them to shock me. I would love them to surprise me. I wish they can qualify. Imagine having Nigerian flag at the T20 World Cup. It's going to be something great. So let's see how far they can go. Hopefully they pull it through, but it's definitely going to be a very, very tough task.
All right, it's definitely going to be a very, very tough task, but of course we will be behind the Yellow Greens. Sometimes wonder how they got the Yellow Greens, but it's the name of the national team, senior men's cricket team of Nigeria. Right about now, we need to go on a break. When we return from that break, Victor Osimhen makes another list, this time the FIFA Best Awards. Of course, players that have been nominated to win the Best Player of the Year award. Let's go on that break. Come back for more Sports Tonight. All right, interesting discussions we're having off camera. We'll allow you into some of it. Let's talk about Victor Osimhen. Before we look at the list of the players that have been shortlisted for that award, we must highlight the fact that our own Victor Osimhen, Super Eagles forward, goal machine, Victor Osimhen is among the best players in the world as far as FIFA is concerned, and he's in line to win that award because he makes the short list for the best FIFA awards. Let me go to Austin quickly. Should he surprise anybody?
No, he shouldn't. He's been a trailblazer in the last, 2 years, and last season he was on fire. Makes him the first Nigerian player to be nominated for the best FIFA men's awards. And Victor Osimhen, what a story. We're talking about him just weeks ago for being in the nominee list for the Ballon d'Or and now he has made the list of the best awards. He will definitely be nominated for the African Footballer of the Year, and is arguably the top runner for that award. So no surprises here. I mean, it's just the young man is reaping the fruits of his smart and hard work, and he's a hard worker. And there's just something about success. When you win and you put passion and commitment to it and a bit of determination, you will just keep going all the way. And Victor Osimhen has continued where he stopped last season. I'm so happy for him because this can rub off on his colleagues in the Super Eagles. And when I was taking a look at the list, I said, since this voting is also open to the public, everyone needs to rally around Victor Osimhen. You know, I know Italy will be voting for him. Nigeria, not just Nigeria, Africa should also vote for him. And other coaches or captains of teams that we've been, you know, that will have the opportunity to vote. Let's vote for Victor Osimhen. It's a good one for African football. This is beyond the Nigerian, you know. And I like it so much now because when you talk about the top players in the world, though that list dominated by Manchester City players, and for obvious reasons because they won the treble. But now, any top player in the world can associate with Victor Osimhen. You can reckon that this is a top-class quality footballer. I just want to say congratulations to Victor Osimhen, and he should stay focused and keep winning, Yemi.
All right, the last time an African won this award, 1995, the current president of Liberia, George Opunwe, well, it was Ballon d'Or there. Nice, it's separated. But before I go to the screen, off camera, we were talking about, should we say it's confusion? Do you feel the award is, no disrespect to everybody that's been nominated, do you feel the criteria is a bit confusing somewhat?
Almost every time they give us different criteria, which brings up the talks of bias. Any award that has to do with more voting, sometimes people, Austin was talking about, please vote for, some persons may just look like, I don't like Osimhen, let me vote for someone else. Not because, I can decide, okay, I won't vote for Osimhen because I don't think he deserves it. No problem. But not that, oh, I don't like Osimhen, or because I'm a Messi fan, or because I want Haaland to win. So that's my challenge with this. For example, why are you giving us nominees for a year award in August, in September? Then some person said they came up with December 19 to August. How does it make any sense? It's a year. The Ballon d'Or told us it's summer to summer using the European calendar. But again, yeah, they may have lost a few prestige or whatever, but it's the award. We will see. As much as we complain, we will still watch it. We'll still get to enjoy. Whoever wins will still have the bragging rights. One thing I always say is, if A wins the award, B may be more deserving, but it's not that A doesn't deserve as well, because for A to be there means A did something well. Another person may be more deserving, but whoever wins the award in the end will have the bragging rights. There's going to be
only one winner, so yep. that explains why we always have this happen. All right, let's just go and look at the short list. Let's start with the men. The best FIFA men's player nominees: Julian Alvarez, plays for Argentina, is in there. Marcelo Brozovic, Kevin De Bruyne, Ilkay Gundogan, Erling Haaland, Rodrigo, and of course, some of the other players also making the list. The list contains also Kylian Mbappe, Lionel Messi, Victor Osimhen, Declan Rice, Bernardo Silva. These are some of the players that have made that list. All right, so let's switch gears and talk about the ladies. Of course, a lot of people remember Lauren James from England, Sam Kerr, Mappy Leon, Inata Miyazawa, Salma Paralelo, Kara Watch. Some of the names are Aitana Bomati, Linda Caicedo, Rachel Daly, Kathleen Ford, Mary Fowler, Alex Greenwood, Jennifer Hermoso in the news for you know what, and Lindsay Horan of the United States. You have 4 of the best FIFA women's coach nominees: Peter Johansson, Jonata Geraldes, Tony Gustafsson of Sweden, Emma Hayes of England, and of course, the hot favorite is Serena Wigman of the Netherlands. Let's go on and look at the FIFA Fan Award nominees. Club Atlético Colón de Santa Fe fan, Argentina; Fran Hondal, also from England; Miguel Andel, Millionaires fan from Colombia. The best FIFA men's goalkeeper nominees: Yassine Bonu of Morocco, Thibaut Courtois of Belgium, Ederson of Manchester City and Brazil, Andre Onana of Cameroon, Marc-Andre ter Stegen of Germany. Those are the goalkeepers in line for the award. The best FIFA women's goalkeeper nominees, quite a list. You have Mackenzie Arnold of Australia, good showing at the World Cup, and Katrin Berger of Germany, Catalina Cole of Spain, Mary Hepps of England, Christian Hendler of Chile, you have Zedra Muzovic of Sweden, Sandra Panos Garcia Villamil of Spain. Those are the least. And of course, also talking about the men, this one, hotly contested, Pep Guardiola of Spain, Simone Inzaghi of Italy, and Postecoglou of Australia, Luciano Spalletti of Italy, and Xavi of Spain, the current Barcelona coach. And most of these categories, it's very, very difficult to call. And so let me go back to Bolu. Is there any of these categories that you're at ease making a call?
First of all, it has to be the women. Why is Asisat Oshoala not in the squad? Because similar to what happened a few years ago, they called forwards in Barcelona. Asisat scored more than every forward in Barcelona that year, and she didn't make the list. Now there are a few forwards in the same squad that made the list, and Asisat is not there. You won't tell me it's just the World Cup. I say it all the time, World Cup is always important, but you can't judge a year based on just 7 games in a month. You can have a great World Cup if you have a terrible season. You should not win it over others. I think Asisat Oshoala should have been there. And it is not being a Nigerian. I
was going to say that. So, is it the Nigerian in you?
No, it's not. It is the numbers. Interesting thing is, Asisat scored more goals last season than when she won highest scorer in La Liga, despite still missing some games due to injuries. But again, like we say, it's awards. There will always be but. If they call whoever everyone thinks should win, there will still one or two people will still say A, B, and C should win. But some of them are almost easy to call, while some are still close call. For example, the women's coach will probably be Serena Wigman. If anybody is challenging her, maybe the Barcelona ladies coach, which I think is almost impossible. For the men, you will almost beat your chest that Pep Guardiola will win. Some persons will ask you that, what of the Argentina coach? No, he won that in February for the 2022 award. So it's an award. Let's see who gets it in the end. Then it's easier then to start picking A, B, C. And I would have loved this young girl to win Parajuelo for what she's done on the 17, on the 20, the young player of the last World Cup. But it's almost going to be a given for Bonmati to win. But the woman I would love to win the award has to be Mary Hepps, the goalkeeper for England. That lady or woman is a brilliant, brilliant goalkeeper.
A lot of people are, looking for getting her on their books services. She's
the hot
cake right now. All right, let's go to Austin. I don't know if Austin thinks there are close calls or probably some, exclusions that are noteworthy.
But all the time when I talk about awards, particularly these ones organized by FIFA, it gets my face, all squeezed up, and you can tell when I started talking, I was already, having those squeezed on my face. Yes, I totally agree that Asisat Oshoala should have been on this list. And, anyone can be quick to come to me and say, is it because I'm Nigerian? Yes. And not just because I'm Nigerian, because I'm Nigerian, because she's deserving of it. She had a fantastic season. She was also at the World Cup, scored a goal at the World Cup, broke records of scoring in every World Cup she has featured. And it's so painful because FIFA could have just looked away and do it for Africa. Just look at the list and just do it for Africa. And if you put Asisat Oshoala in that list, nobody will talk about it with anybody, even if we know she's not going to win it. But the fact that she's on the list, we will celebrate it. We will talk about it. It will motivate the girl child in Africa. So thumbs down for FIFA for looking away from Asisat Oshoala being in that list. She was on the list for the Ballon d'Or, right? So why did they not put her down the list for the FIFA best? So that said, I don't want to talk about what I expect from the women's category, because if you leave me, I agree totally with Bolu. I'll just give it to Mary Hepps because she had a fantastic World Cup. I think she showed that she can be a leader. She was gracious. But it was Aitana Bonmati that won the FIFA MVP. So maybe FIFA might just give it to her. But with everything happening around the Spanish team that won the Women's World Cup, awards, and I just, okay, give it to them, some sort of PR, or whatever is whatever. But congratulations once again to Victor Osimhen. And let's set the record straight, because people are asking, those countries that we put beside the names are the countries of origin, so don't start thinking that Pep Guardiola is now coach of Spain. It's funny.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
You had Sarina Bigman, you wrote the Netherlands. She's from the Netherlands and she's coach of England. So, yeah. It's not our awards, but it's what people put out that we are bringing to you. Yeah, it's just important to set that record straight.
All right, that's a good one. All right, let's really take this out of the way. Let's talk about Barcelona in a minute or two. They've had their struggles, and now it appears like their hands going to be tied because the money available to them to do business has reduced.
I think the people that reduce is still part of the problems for Barcelona. They've been in this mess for a few years. But I remember when it started coming out, they said they had a new problem that they gave them a buy. So they called it one rule like that to sign a player when transfer window had closed. That was when they got Braithwaite. And the team they got him for couldn't replace Braithwaite, so they got relegated because they sold their highest goal scorer. After that, they said, they were in financial problems. They couldn't register some players. They found a way to bypass it, register some players. Last year, the news came out that, bribery with some referees. They said, no, initially one person said, no, it's not for bribery. It's to support them. Another person said, but Real Madrid do it too. Move on from there. This year, they couldn't register players. So how have Barcelona been able to bypass most of these things? To register new players? Barcelona signing players more than clubs that
don't have problems.
They have money. Exactly. So it's more like, now transfer window is closed, they've done every business. You remember, let's cut it down. Believe me, when it comes next year summer, there will still be a different thing. Barcelona will still make some signings and will still go around. Remember, they said Pedri got to play for them as underage and they were not meant to register, blah, blah, blah. So the fact that they are covering most of these things, I would love to see Clasico. Imagine Barcelona got relegated and only Real Madrid. The beauty will reduce a bit, but if that's what it would take for them to come back, if there's a club poorly run, Barcelona has to be top of that list. There was a story that they are selling some portion of the grass of Camp Nou. There was a story they are renting out some parts of Camp Nou for events. So that club is poorly run. They are in so much financial mess. How they've been able to sustain themselves till now probably has to be studied. Let's see this new law that at least you can't spend more than 260 million on transfer. Let's see if that could help them come back to the Barcelona financial, because if this continues for long, they will reach the peak someday and it may be too disastrous.
Wow. And this places them third behind Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid in terms of, what is available to spend. This cap sort of limits them in a way. I'm very sure Austin has a thing to say about this before we talk about Southgate, his comments about Harry Maguire. I'm really interested in Harry Maguire. But let me allow Austin have the floor, your take on Barcelona before you take us through, your thoughts on the Harry Maguire saga.
Some part of the media in Europe is seeing what's happening with Barcelona as politics, because Real Madrid had their own cap increased and Barcelona's was dropped, So I think you guys have said it all. In the last 3 seasons, I keep wondering what's going on with Barcelona. Why is it poorly managed? Why don't they want to, make it that big club that it used to be back in the day, So, but with this spending limit, 270 euros, they can still do a lot with it. They can still be, useful with it. But with everything I've seen, the mismanagement, I hear players are dropping their wages just so the club can be comfortable with their spendings. Something is happening in the background that they are not telling us, and hopefully it's not going to, ruin Barcelona as a club, because they are a big team in Europe and would like to see Barcelona still stay up there, But because I want to get Bolu's points first about the Harry Maguire, then I will balance it up with what we're hearing right here in the UK. So let me give you guys the honor. Let me hear Bolu's thought about Maguire, because he's always in the news. And these days, people make it look like this guy's in a professional footballer. Bolu, everything happening with Maguire, from your own perspective, watching from a distance, what's the issue?
I think the first thing is he got it 200% wrong by not leaving United in the summer. It was this close to leaving, but the issue of the loyalty bonus, the monies and everything.
Compensation.
I didn't watch Maguire at Hull. I didn't watch him at Sheffield, but I read about him there. He won Player of the Year for both Sheffield and Hull. But I saw him at Leicester, and he won the best player at Leicester. Remember, one of the greatest coaches, Pep Guardiola, also wanted to sign him. It means one thing. Maguire could play football. For someone like Pep to want him, remember also Mourinho also wanted him. Then his problem somehow started with the captaincy issue. Remember, people thought it would be De Gea, some thought it would be Paul Pogba. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer gave it to Maguire. Yes, he still played on, but his problems now crashed completely. He will mark his players. If there are 10 problems in the team or any team Maguire plays for, you can be rest assured Maguire will be involved in 8 of them. But at some point, he was still playing well for England. Now, both England and for United, things are not working for him. If I can advise Maguire now, leave United or if possible, leave England. See what Richarlison is doing now, wants to see a psychologist, because now it is beyond what we see on the field of play. It's affecting him mentally. But at the same time, I saw Southgate hitting at the media. I think the media are still nice to Maguire.
You think?
To an extent, yes, because it's English. We've seen players with poorer errors.
Okay.
And the way they... look at Paul Pogba, for example. Paul Pogba can't sneeze.
This is where I tend to disagree a little. I agree with everything you've said. I think, look, when it comes to mental health issues, I think we should try to be humane. Mm-hmm. His mother was in the stands. I don't know, maybe if he's married or he has kids. This guy is human. And you've given us his resume. The problem with Harry is he's not a ball-playing centre-back. And those who try to turn him to that have not been kind to him. In the England shirt, he has not been bad.
Yep.
Anybody can score an own goal. But for fans of both sides to be chanting and singing and the mother was, I don't think it's fair. I think this has gone beyond football, and that's why I agree with what Gareth Southgate is doing, but I also think Gareth Southgate should save Harry Maguire.
Exactly.
Stop inviting him.
Remember, he didn't even start that game.
Yes, till the man has his head cleared. I mean, you see, I saw his face the moment that ball went in. It was as if the ground just opened.
He knew what was coming.
He knew what was coming.
He was whispering something, looking at the clouds.
You could imagine the game between Manchester and Arsenal. The moment he came in, the Arsenal fans were rejoicing.
Yep.
I mean, it's too much. If I was his brother, I'll probably be angry. And his mother had to start granting interviews. And look, this guy has served his country. This guy gives his all when he plays for his country. I can understand if this is happening at United, but at England, I think it's just too much. Those are my thoughts also.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to hear from you guys, and you guys have echoed the thoughts of Gareth Southgate. He said he hates it that Maguire is being belittled, and he has clearly described it as harassment. And he has called on fans, says, can they stop harassing this player? Because he likes Maguire. He has come out a lot of times to say, on the England jersey, this guy is a top quality player, and he gives everything he's got on the pitch for England. But with the way they made jest of him in that game against Scotland, Gareth Southgate said it was painful to watch. So he has said that everyone close to Maguire should come together and have an honest and frank conversation as regards what's going on with Maguire. How can they help him? Because Gareth Southgate will always want to play Maguire, because dropping him, might have another negative side. We don't want to push this player into depression, And sometimes when I hear some people talk about this guy in the media, I'm just saying, can we show some empathy, Because 5 years ago, everyone was praising this guy, and that's the world we live in today. Your success can be gone in an instant. And if you look at Maguire, you start wondering, when did everything start falling apart for this player? I bet it will be so difficult to piece it together, So everyone just needs to be empathetic to this guy, give him love. There must be something wrong somewhere. I still think he's a good footballer. The mom has been hitting out her fans and letting them know that they are being so unfair to her son, I don't just want this to get to a point where we'll be saying, we could have helped him. Can we help him now? And I totally agree. Southgate saying maybe we'll stop inviting him to the national team now, but it might just get worse, you know, and that's what they don't want. But I totally believe that Maguire can turn it around. I still believe he's a good footballer. He just needs to identify what is causing those distractions, and then he might just bounce back. I strongly believe he will bounce back.
All right. Let's see if we have time to listen to Gareth Southgate. I mean, make a defense for, of course, his man, Harry Maguire.
Scotland fans' point of view, I get it, and I've absolutely no complaints with what they did. It's a consequence of ridiculous treatment of him for a long period of time, frankly. And I think our fans recognised, okay, there might be a bit of heat from our own supporters, but we're not going to have it from others getting into him. But it's a joke. I've never known a player treated the way he is, not by the Scottish fans, by our own, commentators, pundits, whatever it is. They've created something that's beyond anything I've ever seen. He's been an absolute stalwart for us in the second most successful England team for decades. He's been an absolutely key part of that. I've talked about the importance of our senior players. He's been crucial amongst that. Every time he goes on the field, the resilience he shows, the balls he shows is absolutely incredible. So, you know, he's a top player, and we're all with him, and our fans were brilliant with him tonight.
All right. So I guess we'll leave it there. Abolu, before we go, Jaden Sancho, we all knew. I mean, there's not going to be two captains in the boat. I mean, your manager says, I had this conversation with my producer, and he said, what if what the manager was saying is wrong? The boss is always right. You're not going to criticize your manager or say your manager is lying and he's been told to train with, you know, the reserves and all that. Do you see a way back for Jaden Sancho?
There was a story earlier that there was a meeting he told him to apologize, and
he refused.
Said no, because he said apology is when you are wrong. And he believes the manager lied about it. Remember, this same thing, I read many people praising the manager for coming out to tell him, but I said, but the same people criticize Mourinho for doing the same thing. Some of the greatest managers, the Sir Alex and the Wengers, they were always tough men inside. But outside, still find a way to... I think it's more of, okay, anything that will happen, let it happen. The worst is I will leave. With the way things are now, okay, what has happened has happened. I say, I'm not apologizing because I'm not wrong. It feels like it's gone. It's game over. There were reports linking him back to Dortmund. Similar to what happened to Maguire, he needs to get back his career. If he hits it anywhere else, maybe there could be talks of let's bring back our boy. But as of now, it feels like the bridge is destroyed. I don't think he's going to come back to United and play again.
Oh, okay. All right, Austin, our parting shot. Bolu says the bridge is destroyed. It looks like Jaden Sancho probably might just have played his last game for Manchester. Will you go that far in your assessment?
Yeah, it should. You know, I mean, I've said it. If a player doesn't like the treatment he's getting from a club, leave. Because if you put the narrative to a coach, tell me where you read about a coach leaving a club because of one player. You would just probably need to come together like the Drogba days when they came together to send away one coach. But it must be that mafia clique, not one player. So Jaden Sancho should start looking for another club because it's not going to go well with him at Manchester United. That's the show. In London, I'm Austin Okonakpan. In everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
All right, this is a wrap on the show. But first, I want to thank Bolu Money for his time on the show today. Hopefully, we'll do this again.
Yeah, definitely. Good to be here again.
All right. That's the show. Thanks for being with us from start to finish. We'll do this again tomorrow. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.